Man, oh man. Tonight, Monday Night Raw was a shit show. A shit show 101. Okay? Shit show 101. And I apologize in advance if I sound stuffy. I'm sick. But I'm still going to podcast for you guys. Okay? But tonight, from Strowman being built back up as a baby face. Now, all of a sudden, I got to feel sympathetic for the guy after being attacked by Drew, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin. From the Revival losing via distraction by a fucking piñata. The Revival out of all fucking people. AOP is supposedly the most dominant tag team in all of WWE. And you mean to fucking tell me that they're going to keep booking these guys to fucking lose? By like fluke wins? How am I supposed to take this team seriously if they're the most dominant tag team out there? Tell me. Please tell me, because this shit, do you see the difference between NXT and the main roster? Why? What has Gable and fucking Bobby Roode have done to get a win over AOP? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. AOP should be destroying the whole main roster's tag team division on Raw to shreds. Absolutely no competition whatsoever for AOP until WWE decides to call up someone like Heavy Machinery, which they are a legit tag team that can be credible enough to be a threat to AOP. Really? Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Now I'm supposed to take these people seriously now. Bobby Roode is a long lost cause. That's one. Gable, I'm sorry for Gable. He's better off solo. Bobby Roode's better off being a heel. This show is just a fucking clusterfuck, and it doesn't make any sense. And some of the bookings are just so questionable and so like head scratching that it's like it keeps me wondering just why. And then we go ahead and see the writers tonight seem to have gotten lazy and just wanted to be like, you know what? We did an elimination tag team 5-on-5 Survivor Series traditional match last night. Oh, we're gonna do it again on Monday night. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Seriously. And then they want to proclaim that Raw swept clean SmackDown. According to Road Dogg, he said once, the pre-show is part of the fucking main show. You know, the show the kickoff show that takes place before the official match card. Now all of a sudden it doesn't count? So the Usos, the team of the Usos didn't beat Team Raw? No? Or am I supposed to just fucking like, just forget? You see how this fucking company insults your intelligence? Like, the video itself on YouTube, look it up on YouTube. It says, I got it here right now. Look. It says, the Usos claim SmackDown is the A-show after kickoff victory. And that's that. What the fuck? This company, I swear to God, Vince, I don't know, man. Honestly, like I literally have no fucking words. Tonight was a shit show, and I'm about to fucking shred this fucking show a new asshole because it's unbearable, man. Honestly, Braun Strowman last year, organic babyface. We were getting behind him because we loved what we were seeing. We loved everything he was doing. It was natural. It wasn't forced. Now because Roman is gone, now you want to make Braun the babyface yet again and make me want to care about him again after you turn him heel for Roman and now you want to turn him back babyface and expect me to get behind him? No. I'm sorry. No. That's not happening. Honestly, I honestly hope that Drew McIntyre takes over this show as the main event guy, the guy that WWE goes for. Because Braun Strowman, I'm absolutely done, man. You're not going to sit there and tell me that I'm going to take this guy serious after he lost to Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel 5 F5s. And no, I don't want to hear, well, he got hit in the back with the title by Baron Corbin. That don't mean shit. Braun Strowman is a monster among men, right? Well, Brock made him his bitch that night. So, you're not going to tell me that I'm supposed to feel sympathetic for fucking Braun Strowman, especially after tonight, which people are wondering if the injuries sustained tonight were real or they were work. I'm more than positive it was a work, but that is all to just have you get behind Braun Strowman, which, in my honest opinion, they're not going to fool me. I'm not an idiot. And neither should you fall for that bullshit. Because Drew McIntyre is the one that needs to be taking the spot of Braun Strowman where he is now. Drew McIntyre is the real face that they need to go ahead with. And not Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is a lost cause. Braun Strowman, WWE fucked it up for me. And WWE, I'm pretty sure, fucked it up for a lot of people that are fans of Strowman. So, with that being said, bro, you know how you remember when, excuse me, do you remember when Bullet Club last year with the whole FTR shit, fuck the revival? That's pretty much WWE's slogan for the revival tonight. And it has been for a while now. Literally, fuck the revival, WWE says. They keep fucking them up. They keep digging them down. Just killing them. After they had that great match against, who was it? I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was the B team or I think it was the B team, yeah. That the crowd got behind the revival and everyone was like, man, these guys, they can go. What happened to that now? And then they had them lose the next week to the B team and just have them go back down. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, WWE? Come on, man. Tonight, the show starts off with Baron Corbin coming out and proclaiming that they swept SmackDown clean. When we all know that that's definitely not the case. He goes on to brag about how the Raw is the dominant show, is the best show, and then he welcomes Stephanie out, which I'm about to play the promo here, so you guys can listen to all this fuckery and bullshit that we're about to hear. So don't go anywhere. I'm about to play it, and I'll be right back.
Last night at Survivor Series, I held up my end of the bargain. Now it's time for you to hold up your end. I want a match with this slime ball.
Oh, stop it. You can't be serious.
Baron, listen, I did make you a promise, Braun, and my word is my bond. So, therefore, at TLC, Baron Corbin, you will
get these hands.
That's one way to put it. But Baron, listen, if you can defeat Braun Strowman at TLC, then you will officially become the permanent general manager of Monday Night Raw. But if you lose, then you will lose all authority.
And you will lose because your boss said I can pick the stipulations. How about my Universal Championship match against Brock Lesnar?
You will have your Universal Championship match against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble only if you can defeat Baron Corbin at TLC. I mean, this is a really good deal for you, Braun, right? I mean, come on, I'm a businesswoman, you're a businessman of sorts, and I mean, what, do you think you can't beat Baron Corbin? Come on, what do you say?
Welcome to Monday Night Braun. Enjoy your time as acting general manager while it lasts. Because remember, I get to pick the stipulations. And at TLC, you and I are going to have the TLC match. You're not only going to get these hands, you're going to get these tables, you're going to get these ladders, and you're going to get these chairs.
That's what TLC's all about. You know what? I think that's a terrible idea. You do realize that match, it favors me. I'm gonna leave you in a pile of twisted steel and rubble. That is, if you can even make it to TLC. Because you see, I'm still acting general manager, and I've just decided you're going to face Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre tonight in a handicap match.
You know what, Baron, that is an excellent match. But given we are celebrating tonight, it's a huge night, I think we need to one-up that match a little bit. I think we need to make that match a six-man tag team match. It's going to be Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin against the team of Braun Strowman, Elias, and Finn Balor. And since I'm feeling so good tonight, we're gonna start that match right!
So, what we learned here. TLC match between Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin. I don't care for this match. I don't care for Baron. I don't care for Braun Strowman. Obviously, Braun Strowman is going to win this match. And if he doesn't, I'll be fucking surprisingly shocked. But there is no living way in hell that Braun Strowman is not going to win this match. And now we can all, for a fact, know that Brock Lesnar will have more than just the two supposed dates that they were rumored to be, which was Survivor Series, which is last night, and WrestleMania. So now, if Braun Strowman beats Baron Corbin, Baron loses all power as manager for the show, and Braun moves on to face Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Now, and that is if Baron Corbin wins against Braun Strowman, then he becomes permanent general manager, and of course, we all know that's not going to happen. Braun Strowman's going to win. Again, like I said, I cannot take Braun Strowman serious anymore because of what has happened, transpired in Crown Jewel and last year, which I forget what was the pay-per-view that Braun Strowman lost to Brock Lesnar by simply an F5. Okay. And he lost yet again at Crown Jewel by 5 F5s. And again, WWE expects to have me believe that I can get behind the guy and I can believe that he is credible to defeat Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar did not, Braun Strowman. If Braun Strowman was not able to do it before in 2 different occasions, why should I care now? Braun Strowman is tainted. Braun Strowman is tainted. WWE fucked him up. And if you don't see that, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, but the moment to have pulled the trigger on Braun Strowman defeating Brock Lesnar was way back last year. Okay? That was the time to do it. They didn't decide to do it, so why should they do it now? Braun Strowman should have beaten Brock Lesnar for the title, and then Roman Reigns, of course, should have been the heel facing Braun Strowman, but of course, Vince is not going to turn Roman Reigns heel. So that's why we have this clusterfuck, because WWE put what? All their eggs in their basket when it came to Roman Reigns. What do you expect now? They have to build Drew McIntyre up. I'm telling you all right now. Braun Strowman is not going to be the top guy, the face of WWE, of Raw. He's not going to be. Drew McIntyre is being groomed for that position. And if you don't believe me, last week, and, the continuing dominance that he is showing week after week, this guy is destined for greatness. Drew McIntyre. So, we get that. Baron goes ahead and says that, since I'm acting general manager, I am going to put Braun Strowman in a handicap match against Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. But Stephanie says, you know what? This is a night of celebration. That's an excellent idea for a match, but I'm going to one-up that. I'm going to make this match a 6-man tag between Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and Elias versus Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin, which later on during the match I found out that it was an elimination tag match. Like I said, WWE just being lazy, Last night we had an elimination match, tag team match. Let's just go ahead and do it again. How exciting is that? Not for me. Elias comes out and plays a guitar. This guy is definitely another one to talk about. And how very much over Elias is with the crowd. WWE, just like the case of Becky Lynch, had no choice but to turn this guy a babyface. Every time he says WWE stands forward, walk, and the crowd goes walk with Elias, the crowd responds to him. He might have shat on all the cities and states that he visited, but the crowd enjoys what they see with Elias, man. And like I said, this guy is bound for at least, I would start Elias on the mid card, having him on the Intercontinental Championship scene. And build his way up to the main event scene, because you cannot put this guy right away on the main event because competing for the Universal Championship, because that's how you make the crowd turn on somebody, when you shove them down the throat and you skip over everybody that is already lined up to have a potential run in the main event for the Universal Championship. Example, Drew McIntyre. Because Drew McIntyre is bound to win the Universal Championship in 2019. Mark my words, and either at the expense of Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar. And in this case, I will prefer Brock Lesnar more than anyone else, because Braun Strowman is not believable to me anymore. And I can't take him seriously because he has been tainted by WWE. And I will continue to say that because WWE is very, very, very fucking just a clusterfuck. You cannot expect me to get behind Braun Strowman. That's just not going to happen. So, Elias playing the guitar, and then he joins the match. Drew McIntyre eliminates Balor via Claymore kick. Again, poor old Finn Balor. Oh my goodness, man. Poor Finn. How well over with the crowd he is, Finn Balor's great, man. Finn Balor is great, and how they treat him, how WWE treats him and proclaims he is every time they say he is the first ever Universal Champion. Why even say that, man? The way that this guy is treated, man. Like, he's not even going to touch that soil anymore. I guarantee that. Unfortunately. As much as it sucks to say that, it's the truth. Finn Balor is no longer going to be in the main roster scene. Not the main roster. The main event scene for the Universal Championship. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. WWE continues to shit on this guy, I don't know. My personal opinion is I just hate seeing the guy being eliminated first. Why? Because he's little? Because Vince hates his little guys? He likes his big sweaty men? I don't like that shit, bro. I don't. I hate that. Then Elias is eliminated via countout after receiving a spear from Lashley, which that happened on the outside, of course. He was eliminated, via countout. And then we have Braun hit his finisher on Corbin, which left Braun Strowman by himself after Finn Balor and Elias were eliminated. Braun was by himself, and then he manages to hit the finisher on Corbin, the running power slam, pins him, but Drew gets eliminated by DQ after hitting Braun with a steel chair. And going back to Survivor Series, just to think how Braun Strowman eliminated 4 people out of Team SmackDown. It's so fucking clear as day how Vince just cannot fucking get over his fucking shit show that is called Raw. Just like Triple H and, NXT is Triple H's baby. Monday Night Raw is Vince's baby. It just so happens that Vince McMahon doesn't know what the fuck he's doing anymore 90% of the fucking time. But it really fucking bothers me, man. It bothers me a lot that SmackDown was just treated like a piece of shit last night. And they still don't want to record that win that the Usos had on that 10-man tag team elimination match on Survivor Series last night. And they didn't count it. So he gets hit with a steel chair by Drew McIntyre, which disqualifies him. And then Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre continue the beatdown. Lashley hits a spear, and they keep beating down on Braun Strowman. They throw him against both of the steel steps outside. Claymore kick to Strowman after Braun gets up and grabs Corbin by the neck. Braun, then, he's thrown at the steel steps. And then you see Baron Corbin... Excuse me. You see Baron Corbin take off his belt, and Lashley wraps it around his wrist, and then they have the steel step that's closer to the ramp, and then he has it on his wrist. He places his arm on the bottom steel step. Bobby Lashley puts his foot on the steel step and pulling on the arm of Strowman to straighten it out and keep it locked in. As Drew McIntyre beats on Braun Strowman to keep him down, and then Baron Corbin grabs the steel step, the top steel step, and then he smashes Braun Strowman's arm. And there was reports while the show was going on that they don't know if they are playing with it. It's a work or it's a serious injury. So far, I believe it's a work. I don't see why they would risk Braun Strowman getting hurt now all of a sudden. Which, if it happens, Drew McIntyre is gonna step in, because who else? And they do that. And then they walk away. And that was that. And after that, we have Seth Rollins come out. And then he says that, 6 years ago from last night was when the Shield, they showed up for the first time on the main roster. Survivor Series 2012. That marked 6 years. And he says that Dean Ambrose has yet to come in the ring and face him like a man and explain to him why he did what he did. But that at TLC, all that changes because, he's going to take care of business. So we're going to go ahead and play the promo on that, and I will be back with you guys in a moment.
No, it's only been 4 weeks since Dean turned his back on me and Roman, but it's felt like an eternity because as of yet, he hasn't had the guts to walk down to this ring and face me like a man. But all that changes at TLC because he's not going to have a choice because it's going to be Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship. And I sat in this ring last week and I watched Ambrose and I listened to everything he said as he took the Shield vest and he lit it on fire. And he said that the Shield was a burden to him. He said that the Shield made him weak, and he said that this is the same guy he's been this entire time. You think you know somebody, but the truth is I learned more from watching this chronicle of Ambrose on the WWE Network than I knew about him the entire time we were best friends. I didn't know Ambrose was in the hospital with an infection in his elbow that almost killed him. You know why I didn't know that? Because Ambrose never picked up the phone when I called him. He never called back the entire time he was out with an injury, not one time. And Ambrose said he loves WWE. Love? He said he loves WWE. Look, I've known this dude for 10 years, and that was the first time I've ever heard him say the word love. And I got to be honest with you guys, I didn't know that he was capable of love. He said he loves WWE because it's just two guys in this ring expressing themselves through highly aggressive physicality. And that's real funny because for the last 4 weeks, Ambrose, all you've been doing is hiding and talking. But all that changes at TLC because we're going to have our match. But TLC is a ways away still. And I want to talk about tonight because I am feeling highly aggressive right now. And if Ambrose, if you love it as much as you say you do, why don't you come down to this ring and prove it? Because I am looking for a fight.
You don't get it yet, do you, man? Things have changed. Over the past 6 years, the Shield did more harm than good, sure. They love the Shield all over the world, but nobody knows how we were when the camera stopped rolling. We were rotten to the core from the very beginning. And now time has caught up to us, and we're all going to pay for it in different ways. The old saying goes, what goes around comes back around on you. And it's come back around on us in a big way, and now we're all going to get what we deserve. I mean, look at Roman. For Roman's part, for what Roman did in the Shield, he has to answer to the man upstairs. And what's worse, you have to answer to me. So you want to know why? You want to know what's happening? You want to know what's going on? You want to know what's going to happen next? Well, here I am. Come find me. and I'll show you. Hey, where?
So there were a lot of people saying that what Dean Ambrose said, and I quote, "We're all going to get what we deserve. I mean, look at Roman. For Roman's part and what Roman did in the Shield, he has to answer to the man upstairs. But what's worse is you have to answer to me." That part, a lot of people, soured on it. They say, "How the fuck, why would you let Ambrose say something like that?" Have you not noticed that WWE always just uses real life events like that on show storylines? It's not the first time, I can remember plenty of times where WWE has done that before, and people just say, how low can WWE go? That's what they have done it before. They're just trying to, solidify Dean Ambrose as a heel, That's all I can say when it comes to that part that he said about Roman Reigns, and of course I'm not gonna make fun of that, make fun of Roman Reigns' status. All I wish for Roman Reigns is for a speedy recovery and for him to beat the Keema's ass, like he said. But people cannot be surprised at the statement that Dean Ambrose made as far as Roman is concerned, because it's not. It has been done before, and it is what it is. I mean, I really have nothing else to say about that other than this match should be a great match, and I expect Dean Ambrose to beat Seth Rollins at TLC for the Intercontinental Championship, which was announced last night at Survivor Series. So, with that said, after that, when Dean Ambrose told Seth Rollins, "You know what? I'm back here, come find me," he goes back and is shown backstage, and then he asks a couple of bodyguards, or whatever those people back there are. He asks one of them. He says, "I don't know," and then he asks a couple of other guys, and he says, "Where did Ambrose go?" He says one of them, one of the bodyguards said, "I don't know, but you better get out of my face." And he sounded like a fucking robot. Like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, you look like straight, and it was like a monotone. Like, it was like just, "I don't know, but you better get out of my face." I'm like, oh, Jesus, like, you need some promo work, brother. Don't be Charlotte, man. Don't be Charlotte. Don't be Charlotte. Then Seth beats both of them down. And then that was that. And then we get Sasha and Bayley versus Tamina and Nia Jax. Alexa Bliss on commentary, by the way. I'm not going to talk about Alexa. I'm tired of making this insignificant fucking talent. It's just she cannot wrestle. It is what it is. The favoritism when it comes to Alexa Bliss is so beyond, out of, like, it's just mind-boggling. I rather not. Like, she's just not relevant for me to even talk about. She wasn't involved with what was going on in the ring between Sasha and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Tamina. We'll go on with that. Nia Jax beats Sasha and Bayley via pinfall when she hits a Samoan drop on Bayley. I'm tired of seeing Bayley and Sasha Banks losing, not having direction, being teamed up together. For what? You know how cringy it is to watch Sasha Banks do what Bayley does when she's up on the ramp and she does the little, the little hand motion, and she just extends her arms out to the air, and then the floaty thingies, they pop up, and I can't, man. I can't. What happened to the heel Sasha that we used to see in NXT 3 years ago, man? That's the Sasha that we wanted to fucking see. And as far as Tamina is concerned, bro, I don't give a fuck about Tamina Snuka. Like, where she came from, the The only reason the only reason she fucking came out to, to be on a program now was to potentially just put out there that the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships are, they're coming soon. They're coming soon. Because I don't give a fuck about Tamina Snuka. Who gives a shit about her? The heat that Nia Jax is receiving, she's trying to carry off of that, and it's not going to work. Nia Jax, as much as I hate, of course, seeing Sasha and Bayley lose, and at this time at the expense of Nia Jax beating Bayley and Sasha Banks, this will only make us want to see Becky Lynch kick her ass that much more. That is all I can tell you. The more Nia Jax garners all this heat and just, keeps working the crowd and the crowd chanting Becky, 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 we want Becky. Everyone's going to back up Becky when she comes back. And if you did not believe that Becky was a face all this time, now you really will believe it, because WWE has no choice but to have Becky be a full-blown babyface when she comes back, which I'm going to talk about between her and Ronda Rousey, which I'll get that in a second. But Nia Jax is getting all this heat, and it is great because that is what we want to see. This came out unexpectedly. Of course, it was an accident. It was a blessing in disguise, of course. But this is something that we are looking forward to, man. This is something that we want to, we are definitely invested on. And it just so happens that it sucks that it happened at the expense of a mistake, an accident. Not because WWE had it happen. It booked it. They booked it. They were backstage and they wrote the script down and they're like, you know what? Let's have Nia Jax do this to Becky Lynch, and then we'll make it, it's a work, of course, but, that kind of thing. No, this just happened at the expense of an accident. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great. I love it. I embrace it. The heat that Nia Jax is getting is organic. She's getting fucking booed the shit out of. And then when Becky gets her hands on her, it'll be that fucking great, satisfying moment when Becky just kicks Nia Jax's ass. But it just sucks that it happened. Nia Jax won at the expense of Bayley and Sasha. I'm tired of seeing Sasha and Bayley just have no direction. Tonight was just a match that they lost, and oh well, whatever. What else is new? They showed Charlie backstage, and Dean Ambrose interrupts on the back on the TV. Dean Ambrose tells Charlie that before you interview one of your Raw's heroes, go ahead and tell everyone's hero Seth Rollins that I'm right here. And he was referencing to the place where the Shield used to call home, which I'm guessing is where they used to record on their own little camera when they were once a trio in the Shield. And after that, we see Seth Rollins go to where Ambrose was, and he kicks the door open and looks around, but he doesn't find him. Turns around and sees "Burn It Down" written on the door, on the opposite side of the door, on the inside. And starts beating on the door. Frustrated, of course, not being able to find Dean Ambrose. And then we go ahead and they show a clip of a picture, an image last night of Drake Maverick, but peeing his pants when when he was distracting the Bar last night at the Survivor Series match between the Bar and versus AOP. Big Show grabbed him by Drake Maverick by the neck, and they showed zoomed in his pants, peeing himself. And then it was funny because they show Drake Maverick getting food in I guess, backstage, wherever. And all I can think of is, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that I referenced another podcaster, but man, all I could think about was JD saying, Titus Catering. We saw Rhino and Slater in Titus Catering, man, because that's exactly that's exactly where they are, man. In the land of forgetfulness. They just in the land of just they're just not used. They're all these tag teams that they have, and for nothing. Rhino and Slater just back there, making fun of Drake Maverick. Someone from behind Drake Maverick was like, "Have you tried the peas yet, man?" And then Rhino and Slater chip in and be like, "You know what? We should get him adult diapers." And then Gable shows up. He's like, you think this is funny? Drake Maverick's like, you think this is funny? And then he points at Gable. He says, you think this is funny? And then he gets on Gable's face and he says, you know what? Calm down, man. It was just a joke. Don't get pissed. And then Bobby Roode comes in. And then, you know what? You're in trouble. And then Bobby Roode and Gable laugh. And they're like, you know what? Oh, he said urine, that kind of shit. Oh, my God. When will Bobby Roode be turned heel? This Bobby Roode is not believable. This Bobby Roode is just a fucking... It's a joke. Just like he was joking, If he was joking tonight, he forgot to make him, reference himself as a fucking joke. Because Bobby Roode as a face just not cut it. I don't care about Chad Gable either. I don't. Like I said, these two work together separately. Chad Gable needs to go solo. Bobby Roode needs to go fucking solo. Bobby Roode needs to be a fucking heel. The fucking heel that we used to see at NXT. Why, oh fucking why, has this guy not been turned heel yet? I don't know. I really don't fucking know. Anyways, we have a match between Lucha House Party versus The Revival. This match, man, oh my God. The Revival lose via this pinfall by Lince Dorado after he hits the shooting star press on Dash Wilder. And the whole thing happened because the Revival were distracted by a piñata. A piñata. You know what that means? When the Revival loses via distraction by a piñata? It's a fucking joke, right? That's exactly what WWE and Vince McMahon think about the Revival. A fucking joke. Are you fucking kidding me? The Revival? How many fucking times do I gotta proclaim that these guys, how many times do I gotta say that these guys are a legit fucking tag team and they deserve better than this shit? WWE does not give a fucking fuck about the Revival, bro. WWE, Vince, just keeps shitting on the fucking tag team division. The whole fucking segment went backstage about the whole fucking, making fun of Drake Maverick and all, both Heath Slater and Rhino and fucking Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. That's exactly what the WWE thinks about tag team right now. The main roster. A fucking joke. A joke! Why are we seeing the fucking tag team division be fucking portrayed as a fucking joke? Can someone explain this to me? Reports of Vince McMahon back, way back in the year saying that, he's not interested in pushing the tag team division because he just doesn't care. He doesn't want to invest time on that. The Revival lose via pinfall by distraction of a fucking piñata. Let that sink in. Good fucking God Almighty, man. That Raw, I'm telling you, fucking bro. It's really fucking ridiculous how this team is just an extraordinary tag team, bro. It's their revival. They can wrestle their asses off. But you know what? Until Vince steps down and Triple H takes over, or they get called back down to NXT, I don't see the revival going anywhere. They're stuck where they are, and they're gonna keep being treated like a fucking joke. Last night they lost. Tonight they lost. I can't take them serious. It's just not possible. I can't care about the revival. How can I care when they keep fucking sinking them down lower and lower? They deserve much better, man. They deserve much better. You know what? I sound like I'm fucking crying. You know, that's how bad this show is, man. Shit. Oh my God. Then we have Charlie Caruso ask backstage to Seth that Ambrose is playing mind games, and seems like Ambrose has the upper hand. He's winning, and Seth says that he's annoyed, frustrated, but he'll find him and hurt him, especially of what he said about Roman Reigns. And then as they go on, Dean Ambrose is shown on on the distance. He is walking past by Caruso and Seth Rollins, but like way back. And then after Seth finishes talking to Caruso, Titus says, I just saw him, and then he points him to the direction that Dean Ambrose went on, and then they cut into Ronda Rousey's promo, which I'm gonna say, man, Ronda Rousey sounded awesome tonight. I personally can't stand her, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. And Ronda sounded really fucking awesome tonight. I gotta give her credit where credit is due, like I said. She sounded great. She sounded believable. She sounded fired up. I couldn't, I was invested in what she was saying. So let's go ahead and play the promo real quick, because I do have my own views on this and something I really want to touch on. So let me play the video, and I will see you guys back after the promo.
So I understand. At TLC, I'm going to defend my title against Nia Jax. I am very aware of how dangerous Nia Jax is. I mean, just look at what she did to Becky's face. But at TLC, I am going to tap out Nia Jax. And win, lose, or draw, and it's going to be a win. After I'm done with Nia, the next chapter of Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair is going to be written. Some way, somehow, I'm going to find you, Charlotte Flair, and we're going to finish what we started last night. But I didn't come here. I didn't come here to hit my poses and placate for your sympathy and just talk about fighting. No, I came here to show you what a true champion is. A true champion stands guard atop the mountain, ready to throw down anyone who dares to approach back down to the bottom. A true champion, they can't just pick and choose their most opportune time to fight. That's a contender's luxury. A true champion stands guard atop the mountain in sickness or in health. 100% or 1%. You have to be the best in the world on your worst day. A true champion can't be a fair weather fighter. And if you can't defend your position, you step aside. So this is me on my worst day. And if anyone knows me, they know I refuse to step aside. So hit somebody's music and send anyone out here to fight me. Because if I can't defend this title tonight, I don't deserve to be champion.
Ronda, your request to defend your title right here, right now, has been denied. As acting general manager and soon to be permanent general manager, I in good conscience cannot allow you to compete tonight.
Corbin, I've had 17 fights. 17 fights and I've never pulled out of one. 17 fights and I've never even postponed one. And I've had plenty of reason to, believe me, but I never did. I never did because that's what it takes to be the baddest on the planet. So you go back there and you find me a challenger for my title. Or maybe you want a shot at the champ.
You can hear the intensity on Ronda Rousey's promo. It was great. That's all I can say. She sounded fired up. She sounded believable. She wasn't as cringe as she was a couple weeks ago. She came off way more believable tonight, and I love what I heard. I love what I heard. Now, to what I was saying. Last night, when Charlotte was beating the shit out of Ronda Rousey and she got herself disqualified, which was a great match, by the way, Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, last night of Survivor Series. After everything was said and done and Charlotte, beat the shit out of Ronda and she walked backstage, you can hear everyone saying, "Thank you, Charlotte," and chanting Becky. Now, I'm going to make sense of this, of everything right now. You have Sasha, you got Bayley, you got Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte. As far as I'm concerned, Charlotte is still a face, despite what she did last night. She did it for Becky, obviously. You're not gonna fucking have people. You're gonna probably have people say, "Oh, but Charlotte, she attacked Ronda Rousey and she just beat the shit out of her with no remorse." Yes, because she was pissed off at what happened to Becky Lynch and she wanted to beat Ronda Rousey to do it for Becky, and they say she was frustrated because she couldn't beat Ronda Rousey, but I don't really buy into that. That was just a seed planted between both because both versions of the Four Horsewomen are going to fucking meet down the road, and it's going to happen. Now, what I was going to go ahead and say, you already have Sasha as a face, you have Bayley as a face, Becky is definitely a face, and Charlotte is going to be a face, and you have Jessamine Duke as a heel, Marina Shafir as a heel, Shayna Baszler as a heel, Ronda Rousey has to turn heel. I don't care what anybody fucking says. Ronda is the only one that is a face, and Ronda Rousey, when the time comes, she has to be turned heel. WWE has no fucking choice. Becky Lynch's name is on everyone's mouth, and every time Ronda comes out to cut a promo, everyone's chanting Becky Lynch. We want Becky, 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 Becky. You have to turn Ronda heel so this storyline can make sense. You can have Ronda Rousey go on 1 week and say, fuck you, fucking fans, I have given my best for y'all. I came to WWE, to give you a sense of what a real, a real woman can do, and whatever kind of things, that they feel shit. They feel like shit now because the fans have turned on them. You can have that as a reason for Ronda to turn face. I mean, to turn heel, because it has to happen. There's going to be a babyface team versus a heel team. It's not going to be two babyfaces or two heels. Obviously, the babyface team being the original four horsewomen, that is Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte. You're not gonna have the MMA version of the four horsewomen be face. There's already 3 down in NXT that are heels. So when they come up to the main roster and they face potentially, who knows, WrestleMania. I don't know, maybe not even WrestleMania. Let me take that back. Elimination Chamber. That's a perfect place to have them face off. Could be. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass right now. I'm just making bold predictions. I'm just, thinking out loud, making sense of what I have on the plate right now. That is what I see right now. That's what should go. But, it's interesting because they still have Ronda Rousey come out, for the moment, and coming out as a fired up babyface that wants a challenge, and maybe the couple weeks down the road we'll see Ronda turn heel, or a slow transition to a heel role. Who knows? But that's what should happen. Ronda demands Corbin to find her a challenge for tonight, and out comes Mickie James. We already know that's not gonna happen. No title change whatsoever. Mickie James gets thrown around, Ronda does her the twisting. I don't know what kind of move that is. Honestly, I really wish that Ronda would add moves to her repertoire, because this whole striking and doing the arm thingy, takedown, I think it's too. It's getting stale. In my opinion, they should have her do something else other than that. It's time for her to display a bit of a side of wrestling. But I do understand that she's an MMA fighter, but there's got to be some wrestling in that. There is, but there's not much. There's not enough. So that's my opinion on that. Ronda wins via submission by tapping out Mickie James with the armbar. We already knew that Mickie James was not going to win this match. And then after that happens, Ronda Rousey goes and makes her way up the ramp. Out comes Nia and Tamina. Nia looks at Ronda. Nia looks at her fist. She shoves off, little dust on her fist. Poof. Walks off. Now she is dubbed as the face breaker. So, we all know for a fact that Ronda is not going to lose against Nia Jax at TLC. That's not going to happen. Ronda's going to kick her ass, more than likely. So I don't see that. I don't see the title changing hand, because the moneymaker match is Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, which will probably happen at WrestleMania. And that's my final say. That's what people have been talking about, and that's what WWE should be doing, should be planning on to do. So we'll see what happens. Then we have Rude and Gable versus AOP. This is where I just can't fucking understand. Why in the hell do you have the AOP? First, it was what? Titus Catering? Titus Worldwide? They beat AOP plenty of times. Singles, tag team matches, Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. And now it's Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Really? AOP being the Raw Tag Team Champions now this time around, Before they weren't champions. Now they're champions. You mean to tell me that you're gonna have Bobby Roode and Chad Gable that it's a nobody team, a shit team, beat AOP? I can't take AOP seriously anymore. This is what WWE fucking does. They bring up these teams and wrestlers from from NXT, and they bring them up to the main roster, and then they just kill them. They kill them. How am I supposed to take AOP serious now that they are Raw Tag Team Champions, losing to Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, man? And then it was a fluke win, a roll-up. It wasn't like a fucking, a glorious DDT, nothing, no. Or a rolling German suplex pin bridge. Nothing, none of that. A fluke win. They have done it before with AOP versus Titus Worldwide. What the fuck is the point? They should not be losing to any of these teams on Raw because none of the fucking teams on Raw are believable. They've been fucking buried. They're being forgotten. They're forgotten. They're forgotten. And now you have Chad Gable and Bobby Roode beat AOP. Come on, man. I'm wasting my time here fucking watching this shit to fucking, see shit like this, and it just doesn't make sense. Have them go on a fucking undefeated streak as champions, as Raw Tag Team Champions, until a formidable team comes up from NXT, example, Heavy Machinery, and have them feud with AOP. I'm telling you, man. Upset victory. Then we have Natalya versus Riot. A feud that started off of Natalya's dad's sunglasses. That is what these women are feuding about. Natalya being upset because Ruby Riott broke her father's sunglasses. Do I really have to fucking even say or, opinionate on this fucking matter? Do I really gotta waste my breath? Okay, I'll waste my fucking breath. What's the point? None. Point blank. Case in fucking point. What is the purpose of this feud? If they are not, you know what? Every fucking woman should be fucking trying to one up each other so they can fucking face Ronda Rousey and have someone being built up so they can be a formidable fucking threat or, to Ronda Rousey. Something. As long as Ronda Rousey is fucking a champion, who else on the Raw women's division is a believable threat to face Ronda Rousey? None of them. Charlotte was a formidable fucking opponent for Ronda Rousey, but she belongs to SmackDown. And that was a one-time thing on Survivor Series last night. So, what then? What then? Until they meet again, Ronda has no competition. There's nobody in the women's division can stand up to Ronda Rousey. No one is a believable threat. Not even Sasha Banks or Bayley. The way they're being booked. There's no way. There is no way. As much as we know that Sasha can give a fucking hell of a match to Ronda Rousey and Bayley and Ember Moon, it's not happening. It's not happening. After that, we have Dean Ambrose come out, and he cuts a promo talking about what's coming tonight, on how he has told Seth off and the fans off, and how he said that Roman got what's coming to him. I'm gonna play the promo here. And then we'll wrap this review up, and we'll call it a night. So 1 second here as I play the promo for you guys.
This is too easy. Oh, so you all want to see Seth Rollins come out here and beat me up, huh? Let's see Seth Rollins get his hands on me. Because I turned on him. And because I turned on Roman, and I turned my back on all of you and your dirty little children. Come on, guys. Let's be real here, all right? I know that every single one of you, given the proper motivation, would have done the exact same thing. Heck, you would stab your friends in the back, probably for money, or judging by the looks the most of you, probably for a free meal. You would stab your own family members in the back. Hey, at least my reasons were justified, all right? I know people like you people. I've been around people like you my whole life, and I am nothing like you crummy people. I don't feel sorry for myself. Have you listened to yourselves lately? You're so emotional. The way you cheer your little hearts out for Seth Rollins makes me sick. No, literally makes me sick to my stomach. Makes me want to throw up. And what is that smell? What the hell is that smell? I can smell you all the way from back there. You know what that is? That's a giant, steaming pile of phony LA garbage. Look, I know you...
Oh, wait a minute!
I know you people...
Rollins left. No, Seth
didn't
Rollins!
come out here... I know you people didn't come out here expecting to hear someone tell you all about yourselves. Where you going, buddy?
Rollins is on his way out. Seth Rollins is here.
Okay.
So Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins go at it. Seth comes down the ramp into the ring, chases around Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins is kicking Dean Ambrose's ass. They get back in the ring. Seth Rollins with a super kick to the Dean Ambrose's face. Then he tries to go for the stomp, but Dean Ambrose sidesteps and low blows Seth Rollins. And then he grabs him by the hair and says, "You know what? You came out and interrupt me, right? You wanted to talk? Talk! Talk!" Then he grabs him, picks him up, hits a dirty deeds, walks off, goes up the ramp as the officials try to have him go away. And then he comes back and nails another dirty deeds to end the show with that. Now, of course, I love Dean Ambrose, man. Dean Ambrose is honestly my second favorite of the Shield. I still prefer Seth Rollins over Dean Ambrose. But as far as promos go, Dean Ambrose takes the cake for me. He is the best out of the three, cutting promos between Roman, Seth, and himself. Dean is the believable one here, the most believable one. I love when he talks. I love Seth Rollins as well, but Dean Ambrose takes the cake on this. Now, I do want to see Dean Ambrose win the Intercontinental Championship, but I have a feeling that Seth will retain, but I really want to see Dean Ambrose win the championship. But as far as I'm concerned, seeing how everything is transpiring, Seth Rollins has not really done shit with the IC title. So having him lose against Dean Ambrose and Dean Ambrose winning the IC championship, that's just going to have them both on the program, on the feud between them two. And it's just going to be them two. That's the championship that is acting like the, I guess you would say, the Universal Championship, since the Universal Championship is not on Raw. You know, Brock Lesnar's not on Raw every week. So that is the main story on Monday Night Raw right now. And having the IC title being held hostage by Seth Rollins still, because it's being held hostage. I'm sorry to say that. We have another 3 weeks until TLC. Who is he going to defend it against in the meantime? He's probably not going to defend it. Therefore, rendering the mid-card scene useless. You know, I love them both, but you're holding the mid-card scene hostage. They have nothing to fight for. And they're not being involved in this feud, because obviously it's the bigger feud of it, the biggest feud of the show. So go figure. You know. With that said, this has been the Intensity Podcast. I am your host, Stay True 92. I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. I'm a little bit sick. My nose is stuffy, as I said in the beginning of the show, but I'm still here for you guys. I will appreciate if you guys leave a like on this on the video. Please subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Follow me on Facebook at Stay292. On Instagram and Twitter at The Intensity Podcast. Follow Cameron Gray, my buddy with the graphics on the video that you see on the screen. Follow his artwork as a tattoo artist. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tonight, for listening and tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow night for SmackDown. Until then, be safe, sleep tight, and I'll talk to you later.